Hey guys, Lily the Fox here.
And Delta.
So, we have something we wanted to share with you guys.
Yep.
It's a restaurant we wanted to go to.
It's called Fork and Fingers.
And we were looking at the reviews.
Yep. We did look at them reviews. There are some pretty tasty looking reviews and some pretty spoiled ones as well.
Oh yeah. And then we actually went to the restaurant.
Yep, we actually did.
So here is what we found. Chips and salsa.
So, should we start with some of the reviews?
Before we talk about food? Yeah.
So, I think we should probably go into this. The main reason why we decided to go was actually for the bad reviews. According to Google's, the actual review rating is a 4.2 stars, which isn't bad. It's not bad. And we're talking out of 403 reviews. So, I'm going to go down. We're actually going to skip some of the good ones. Actually, we're going to skip all of the good ones, because the bad ones are funnier.
Yes.
So, first bad review, and by bad, I'm talking about probably, 3 stars and lower?
Yeah.
Okay. So
yeah.
First review was from 2 months ago. It says, the locals told me that I had to try this place. They swore it was the best Mexican food around. Maybe they're right. Maybe it is the best Mexican food around. It was my first Mexican food experience in Ohio. That being said, it was terrible Mexican food. Extremely bland, mushy, and their hot sauce might as well been ketchup. Not even close to authentic Mexican food. This very much reminded me of school lunch or inexpensive buffet food. I did give it 2 stars instead of 1 because the staff was friendly and I had an unusual experience of having some sort of blue Kool-Aid alcohol drink that they said was their special. God-awful drink, but it was cheap. I may come back someday to prank my wife into eating bad food. Now, the thing that's great about Google reviews is that the owner of the restaurant or the location can reply. So here's the direct reply from the owner.
Yes.
Are you sure you're reviewing the right place? We don't carry any blue Kool-Aid alcohol drinks, especially not on special. That's the first review. Here's another review. This one is another 2-star review from 9 months ago. It reads, while I did have a nice time here, the food wasn't very good. It reminded me a lot of when school lunches would try to make Mexican food. I visited this establishment with 3 of my friends, and they all agreed, one going as far as to say the beef reminded her of cat food. However, our waitress was really nice, and I liked her a lot. Her name was Dakota, I believe. If you're reading this, you rock. The response from the owner, thank you for coming in. We're glad you had a good time. Maybe next time you can try one of our chicken dishes. Thank you very much for your feedback.
Oh boy.
Here's one of the really good ones that we read that made us want to go.
Yes.
This was one from Gigi Walker.
Oh yeah.
This one's not from Linda.
Yeah, it's the other one.
Yeah.
We like.
So here's a 1-star review from 8 months ago. Buckle up. Usually, a little hole-in-the-wall restaurant has good food. Wow, we were wrong. The service was good, but the food was absolutely horrible. My wife didn't eat very much and got extremely sick with stomach cramps and horrible chest pains. I sent my steak back because it was raw. My server was literally gone long enough to go back to the kitchen, and literally within 90 seconds she was back with my medium cooked steak. The actual salsa literally tasted like marinara with chili. We were so disappointed we didn't finish anything. The server asked if we wanted to take anything home, and I told her no thank you. Both of our plates were full. Even the Mexican rice was runny. We will never step foot in here. And it's sad because my company just took on a huge project right down the street, taking several months and about 55 of my Hispanic employees. Now, for the owner response.
Yes.
We hope you and your 55 Hispanic employees find something that fits what you're looking for. Thanks, Gigi.
Hold on.
Here's the best one.
So hold on, my question is, what the fuck does his Hispanic employees have to do with anything? Is he trying to be like, well, they know what good Mexican food is? Or does he think he can only take them to Mexican food? Like, just because they're, whoever, he's retarded, that's all I'm saying.
Well, no argument there.
Okay. Ready for the next review?
Yes.
I know for a fact you like this review. You guys are going to like this one too, because it's pretty savage.
Oh, yeah.
Another 1-star review from 8 months ago. From Linda.
Yes.
It has quite a long time since I went there with a friend, but considering they served cold beer, that made it a hit with them. They were fast at ordering and serving drinks. However, to claim they take any resemblance to Mexican food would be an exaggeration. In reading the recent reviews, the food has not improved. Anyone can open a bag of chips, put store-bought salsa out, and serve pre-mixed, frozen, horrible margaritas. I figured the only reason they survive is the location and walk-in regular drinkers, because it isn't due to any thought about quality cultural food or cleanliness. There are other options. Some are authentic menu selections, clean. Wait, I read that wrong. There are other options. Some are authentic menu selections, clean, caring. This fork and fingers just plain isn't worth it a try unless all you want is cold beers pushed at you. Now, for probably one of the best responses we've had from the owner. Linda, we make our own chips and salsa fresh. We have a clean restaurant. If you don't like our food, that's fine, but please don't call into question our integrity. Yeah.
Yeah.
This review also has a 1-star. It is from 2 years ago, which is probably further back than any of the other reviews. Luckily, this review also came with pictures. The worst Mexican food I've ever had. The cheese enchiladas, just shredded bagged cheese from Kraft probably. And that is what consists of the cheese enchiladas. The 2 tacos I got were hard, but the bottoms were soggy from all the excess grease from the bagged shredded cheese that they sprinkled all over the meal. This place was disgusting. The food was terrible, and I would never eat there again. So this will probably be the last review that ultimately sold us. It is amazing. Amazing bad review. Now, this review has 3 stars. Now, the person doesn't have their full name on here. It just says ZP, okay? So this is a 3-star review from 8 months ago. Nasty Fingers lives up to its name. I came to this place well aware of the fact that the food here just isn't good by any liberal understanding of quality. But what I got exceeded even my lowest expectations. Imagine the cheapest frozen burrito at a dollar store, smothered in school food quality beans and cheese, left to sit out for a few days, and reheated every other day to keep it going. It gets better.
Yes.
This place makes Taco Bell look like it deserves a Michelin star. It's so bad.
Jesus Christ. Okay, keep on.
Okay.
On the upside, portions are large. Now, to be food isn't everything. I respect any business that can survive and last as long as this restaurant has in a city that manages to lose nearly every business that has ever tried to open here. Thus my 3-star review. Also, any restaurant should cater to local taste, and the food being even as it is probably provides a delicacy in these parts.
Wow. They called us dumb.
They did.
Fuck them. Whatever.
Overall, it's a quirky, fun little place that offers a glimpse back in time, and the ambience is worth the visit for the nostalgia. Just be prepared for food that a starving dog would turn down.
Woof. Come here.
Now, that in mind, this is from the owner.
Yes.
This is the owner's response. Damn, ZP, sorry your food was so bad. Thanks for the review.
That's it?
Yes.
That's it? Wow.
But this is the whole thing that made us want to go here.
Okay, here's one review that we liked, but the owner did not comment on. It is short and sweet and to the point.
Yes.
1 star, 4 months ago. Dirty, outdated, unauthentic. Owner is very rude and is sarcastic.
Really? Really?
And then nothing from them.
Okay, this is a new one that's kind of good that I didn't see earlier. This is a 1-star review from 3 months ago. Wow! Instead of trying to improve, owner only offers sarcastic comments. Will not be getting any of my money. Response from the owner from 3 months ago. Wow! Sorry for not taking your unsolicited advice. Sorry we won't be getting any more of your money. Hopefully you can help other restaurants instead. And then a shit ton of exclamation points.
Oh my god. Yeah, I have tears coming out of my eyes from those. So.
Okay. So, with those reviews in mind, and the small amount of footage that we did share with you guys towards the beginning of the video, I think it's time for us to go over our own personal thoughts on how it went.
Yes.
Do you want to start, Lily?
Sure. So when we came in, we were trying to figure out if we had to be seated or not. A great thing, you can sit wherever you want. Bar, booth, anything, which is nice.
That said, the waitress there didn't tell us that.
No.
Somebody sitting there pretty much told us after we stood there for maybe a minute and a half trying to flag down a waitress. Pretty much went, yo, you can just sit wherever you want. And we're like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, there needs to be a sign there at least.
Yeah, there needs to be a sign there at least. Now, as far as the actual places upon first glimpse, atmosphere is pretty decent. It's pretty nostalgic. There's Mexican decor, I guess, up. I didn't get many pictures of that, but if you go on to, the Google Maps, you could probably find it. It's pretty standard, low-end Mexican decor.
Yeah.
For, a Mexican restaurant.
Yeah, and even at the booth, the table, you see the local stuff.
Yeah, which was nice. I think.
Was cool.
Yeah.
And it wasn't underneath paper and then glass. It was actual onto the table.
It was finished onto it.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. That said, let's talk about the actual booths.
Yes.
So because we're already there.
Yeah.
So we already talked about the tables. The seating, you can definitely tell, was used.
Yeah.
Is how we would put it. You could definitely tell that the place has had a lot of traction over the years. It's probably been around for a good long time. It might have passed hands at some point in ownership, but the seating in of itself was I went to sit down and there was obviously a indentation where somebody's butt's been for who knows how long.
And the funny thing on my side, it wasn't as big as yours.
Yeah, that's true. I was way far back and she was way forward.
Yeah.
It was also funny.
That. And then when they gave us the chips and salsa.
Chips and salsa. So here's our own rating on the chips and salsa. Let's talk about the chips first.
Chips, I thought were okay.
Chips were okay. Do you think they were homemade or do you think they were store-bought?
I think they were store-bought with season on it.
Yeah, so they were seasoned. You can see in the first clip that like the chips has some powdery stuff on it. We think it's seasoning. We're pretty sure that I would agree. I think they were store-bought chips that they just seasoned up on themselves.
And baked in the oven real quick.
Yeah,
to warm them up.
Yeah. Now the salsa.
Yeah, I was really disappointed in this.
That was honestly, like, if you like authentic Mexican salsa, this was definitely not it. So, like, some of the reviews were, like, saying that it was borderline ketchup.
No.
It tasted more like either, like, hot sauce or enchilada sauce that they seasoned.
Yeah.
Because there was no chunks of tomatoes, no jalapenos, no cilantro, no onions. It was just hot sauce that was somewhat flavored. Like, no flavor, just hot.
Granted, when they seasoned the chips, it tastes okay.
Yeah, the chips were pretty okay, even though they obviously were not in-house made.
Oh, yeah.
How about the waitress?
The waitress, oh my god.
The waitress, I think, was probably, like, the best part. There was only, like, one waitress. Like, you could tell that there was other people working in the back, but there was only one waitress and one person at the bar.
Yeah.
So the waitress was definitely a character. She was pretty enthusiastic.
And very honest, too.
Very honest. So, like, when we first sat down and she's like, sorry, we don't have any drinks. You guys know what you want? Or, like, we were like, hey, this is our first time. She was pretty hospitable, which was really nice. Honestly, even though it took us a long time to figure out, like, I don't know, I think 2 minutes is kind of a long time to, figure out what the seating is supposed to be. Like, what is it?
But she was also busy, too.
She was busy, though. I will admit. She was kind of busy bustling around. But she was really nice. She gave us the rundown because they didn't have drink list. And then she gave us adequate time, I think.
I think so, too. And she recommended if we wanted to look more at the alcohol, if we wanted just to drink, go to the bar.
Yeah, so, like, you had the option, because they didn't have the menu, that if you could go up to the bar and figure out what you wanted, and, like, you can go back to your seat. Which was nice.
Yeah.
That said, we got margaritas.
Yes.
They're pretty good margaritas. You could see in the video. We took a little bit of footage shot on the margaritas. They were, how would you put it?
Not bad at all. It's, like, obviously cheap, but pretty good for the price and everything.
Yeah, so, like, I don't know how, like, I'll be honest, I don't drink a lot when I go out, especially at Mexican restaurants. So, like, when you think of, like, a margarita, you usually think of, like, a big, shallow glass, and, like, either on the rocks or slushy and a lot of salt.
Which I have up there.
We have up there for reference in case we want to put one in.
Yeah.
So, like, these guys, they were really short stem, and they were more bowl-like, almost.
Kind of small.
They were smaller. Like, almost the same volume as this wine glass.
A little bit smaller than that.
A little bit smaller,
but
skinny and short. But it was pretty good. So, like, you could definitely tell that it was bought, like, margarita mix, but it was at least on the higher end. So I would disagree with the claim saying that it was cheap margaritas.
Yeah.
Like, definitely not in-house made, but probably one of the tastier, like, not homemade margaritas I've had.
I agree, and they added strawberries, too. They recommend that.
Mm-hmm.
Strawberry syrup in it. And it was pretty good with it. For me.
For you.
Yeah.
Lilly has strawberries. I'm not a fan of strawberries in my margaritas.
Which is fine. I'm surprised you didn't get...
the table with your hands.
Sorry. I'm surprised you didn't get peach.
I know. I was tempted, but at the same time, I'm very much like, let's try something, like, next time try something, like, add on top of it. I'm pretty, like, slow when it comes to alcohol as far as, like, testing the waters, but that's because I'm young.
I understand.
Now, how about food?
Oh my god. Food? The food was really good.
The food was good. For what we got, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I almost wonder if, because there was a lot of reviews saying that it was pretty bad. I wonder if it was a combination of what we ordered and whether or not if they got new
staff.
Yeah,
because...
Or different staff was in.
Because sorry.
Well, that's perfectly fine. So, do you want to talk about what you got first?
Yeah, I got the shrimp chimichangas. And what I noticed with the salsa on top was actually like chunk of tomatoes, onions, jalapenos. Like it was fresh sauce on top of the cheese, and the shrimp was pretty good. It was very sweet, so I think they added sugar to the salsa, but it was pretty good.
Now, what about the size? Was it a small chimichanga? Was it a big chimichanga?
It was actually pretty
It's
big.
a pretty decent sized chimichanga.
I didn't even finish it, so.
Yeah. Now, as for me, going along with the theme of shrimp, because I'm also a fan of shrimp, I went with the shrimp fajitas. And I would agree that the shrimp was pretty good in it. You can tell that they didn't cook it for too long, because, like, you know, when it cooks for too long, it gets that, like, rubbery texture.
Yeah.
It wasn't rubbery at all. It was pretty decently seasoned. You know, even when, like, the lady brought me on my plate, she's like, hey, if you want another plate so that you can build your fajitas on it, we can get you one of those. A lot of people ask for them. I'm like, oh, yes, thank you. So she was on top of it, which was also nice.
It was.
So, like, obviously you had your stuff. You had your beans, you had your rice. Had a good portion of fajita meat and onions and peppers. And it got me a good portion sizing of, like, lettuce and cheese that was obviously, like, just store cheese.
Oh, yeah.
Which I'm fine with. I think, you know,
Me
like, the
too.
shredded store cheese is fine if you're going to, like, build your stuff. And, like, she gave me my sour cream, she got me my guac. I think I got to test the guac just to make sure. But I think the guac had some lime juice in it, because every once in a while I got a little hint of lime in my fajita, and it was just chef kiss. It was really good. So the number, I don't know if it was just like new staff or different people in, I don't know. So my consensus on the people who were like being really bitchy about it are probably just really, really nitpicky. So, like, overall, like, I think we come to a consensus that it's definitely not actual Mexican food.
No.
It's definitely Tex-Mex.
Oh, yeah.
And then, how about, since we're on the topic of the food, how about we go over a little bit of, like, what we saw in the menu.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, you go.
So one of the parts on the menu I saw was like a pretty funny, but I thought it was awesome. They had a Mexican hot dog.
Mexican hot dog.
Yes, which had like tomatoes, onions, avocado. It wasn't like a Chicago dog, but it was their version of it.
Which is also funny because I also saw Mexican egg rolls.
Yes.
Mexican egg rolls. You heard it here first. Mexican egg rolls here in Mansfield, Ohio. Want to try it?
Yeah, me too. I would definitely go back.
I would definitely go back too. So, like, from what we could tell, the menu was kind of like a fusion menu. So, like, there was definitely things there that were not normal. And, like, I don't think I saw it on this version of it, but, like, if you go onto the Google Maps reviews and whatnot, you can see some other, like, definitely fusion items.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it was mostly, like, there was some, like, Indian stuff and some other Asian cuisine. It was pretty interesting.
And don't forget the kids menu.
Yeah, the kids menu wasn't there, like, when we got the menu. So we were pretty sure that if you were to go there and you had kids, that you could just...
I saw it in the back. It had taco and smiley fries.
Oh, there was this menu.
Yes, it was in the back.
So what would you tell the owner? Like, just say she's watching this, because, like, let's just say we post this on the Google review. What would you say to the owner directly?
I would say I do like the place.
Is there anything you would critique? Like, hey, just, like... Like, what would you say about her What would you say about her attitude and, like, how she reacts to people on Google reviews?
Well, here's the thing. We're not exactly sure if the owner...
Let's just assume.
Or we're assuming that the owner is a woman.
Yes.
Yeah. He or she doesn't either.
They.
The owner.
Like, okay, so, like, personally, as far as, like, what would I say to the owner? Keep being savage, because that shit's funny.
Yes.
And, like, honestly, like, I thought it was hilarious. Like, the waitress obviously knew that people had been giving them slack, because she was really hospitable.
Oh, yeah.
Which I liked. As far as things that I would give as far as tips go, is, like, I mean, yeah, I could complain all I want about the seating, but here's the thing. It's like, okay, we're semi-post-COVID. People, you know, it's a downtown area. Downtown areas, as is, don't get a lot of traction.
Yeah.
Downtown areas are dying, as is across the United States. They're not always going to have the money to update their stuff. So, as much as I could be like, oh, update this,
Or update salsa, like.
we're also understanding that, money is tight around right now.
Oh yeah.
Especially with the lockdown. Now, I think that's pretty much all I would really say in regards to that. That said, I want to talk about the last really funny thing.
Oh yeah.
That we hadn't gotten to talk about, and Hund doesn't even know yet because we haven't told him.
Yeah.
So so she gives us our receipt, and she's like, hey, all you need to do is go up to the bar, and you can pay for your meal there, which is perfectly fine. I have no issue getting up to go to the bar. So I go up to the bar, and, the man running the bar is there. He's, like, finishing up some drinks. I go to give him, my receipt for the meal and my card. He gives me back. He hands me the pen and the paper so that I can sign off on it, and he goes, you have baby hands. I'm sitting here trying to, like, tip them, and I'm like, thanks, I know. I get that a lot. But it's like, 9 times out of 10, if somebody tells me I have baby hands, it's because it's a guy that I'm dating for the first time, and I'm holding their hands, and they're like, oh my god, so small. This guy straight up was looking at my hands.
Damn, bitch, you got some baby hands.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like he was a young guy either. I think he might have actually been Mexican.
That's possible.
And he was a smaller man, but it was still funny. And it made it funnier because obviously I already had my drink and I was a bit tipsy, but like,
Oh yeah.
as far as like all that goes, it was pretty good. So like, what would you rate the restaurant personally?
Personally, after the whole experience, I would rate it 8 out of 10.
No,
gotta do it at a 5-star review.
5 stars.
5
Oh,
stars.
5. Yeah, then that'd be like 3.5.
3.5.
Yeah, because it's like a little down, but still good.
I give it a 3.8. It's pretty good. There's certain things that I'd be like, meh, but it's pretty decent food. I like. If you're gonna do salsa, just make salsa. Even
Yes.
if it's fucking paste.
We don't care.
Just better salsa.
Or store-bought.
Store-bought salsa. We're just gonna end on salsa.
Salsa was the only thing we complained the most.
We're just gonna fade the music out right here, and it's just gonna be whistling away again in Margaritaville.
We need more margaritas.
Copyrighted,
Da 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 da. Tequila.
What a great.
We're
Wait,
done.
wait.
We're saying we're done.
Bye, guys.